Hello there. Thanks for stopping by the homestead. If we haven't met yet, my name's Jared. For my wife and I, this homestead is our second chapter. Last week, we cut a bunch of lumber, had some great blueberry pancakes, and got our power in. Well, sort of in. This week is all about getting siding on the shop. Last week, I was worried about getting my siding all cut and put on before the wind blew my tar paper into a big pile. As you can see, that didn't end up happening, which I'm very thankful for. Now we just have to get it put on. So my wife's a harsh taskmaster. She's not going to be satisfied until these walls are up. Okay, that's a bald-faced lie. My wife's actually really easygoing. The only taskmaster around this place looks me in the eyes every morning when I look in the mirror. There really isn't anybody that can push me harder than I push myself. I should probably take life a little easier up here, but I just can't do it. Once I start a project, there's just no choice but to hammer it out. Pun intended. Thankfully, I'm using a nailer to make that happen. I've got some friends coming in a couple of weeks. I'd really like to get the shop pretty much dried in before they get here. I have some other projects in mind for them, but mostly, I want to do some fishing. So the plan is, work hard now, fish later. Can't wait to go fishing with my friends. It's going to be a great time.
So Larry last night, and I was kind of in a rush, so I didn't film any of this. But basically, what I have here is my soffit, and then I'm putting in some greenhouse plastic so that I get light. So I have my flashing to prevent water from going back behind my siding. Then I put in this 2x5, which lines up pretty good with this. And then, so I screwed in my greenhouse plastic on this side, and then I'll take and I'll screw it in back on this side. And wherever my eaves came down, I just did some bug meshing and then some galvanized meshing so that I shouldn't have any birds or anything get back up in there.
Man, that siding looks good. I'm so glad I decided to go with cedar. This little rain squall is a good reminder of how much I'm going to appreciate this dry space. Time for wall number 3. I get so focused on projects. It's a good thing my wife's around to remind me to eat. Here's the part I've been chewing over in my mind for a while. Because the wall is angled, every board has to be a different length. I really don't want to measure each board individually. So my plan is I'll just lay out all the boards, snap a line across the bottom, and that should get me close enough. Then I can just trim up the bottoms. We'll see if it works.
So this will just let me know which boards I need to cut in order to make that fit. So just these longer ones here probably.
It's a line, so I'm going to cut this extra long just in case. You were way smarter than me.
What?
Not that that's hard.
What?
Oh. I can't measure off the left of the board.
Not anymore.
So.
Like from where I am to where that
That
is,
looks
they
the
look
same.
moving.
Okay.
Woo. Not pretty tight. I'm sure you want that one there and not the next one.
That's where it's supposed to go.
Yes.
You can grab the next one and see if it fits any better, but it's going to be even longer, I think. Still needs like 2 inches probably. Like 2 inches depth.
Yeah, it's all the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, hold it. I'll come down and cut it. Somebody's just got all sorts of stuff down in there. Yeah, grab my jig real quick.
You should be good.
Got lots of room. Come on, baby. Reach for the sky. Nailed it. Sitting down on the job again. Somebody's got to. All right, so now we have boards. Okay. Somebody put a steel post right there. And I remembered. Just have to nail them on the side, which will put 2 nails in one board, which you don't want necessarily, but since the alternative is not having any nails in it, thinner strips up here, so when my plexiglass sits on top of it, it should be roughly the same thickness as the plywood. So that's the reason for the change. Summer before last, and there were a bunch of crappy free logs. Gave me crappy free boards. However, now I need a bunch of 2 to 7 foot pieces. I think these will work just right. So I got all my waste boards cut into lengths that are going to fit in that opening above the window at 10 feet. So hopefully I won't have to substitute too many boards, because every time I have to substitute a board, it's climbing up and down off the scaffolding. But that should get me pretty close. Now, something you should know about me: I hate working at height. Now, 1 level of scaffolding, that's only 6 feet, no big deal. 2 levels of scaffolding, now you're getting outside of my comfort zone. Now I can rappel a 300-foot cliff, and it doesn't really bother me. I've got ropes on. However, working at height, I don't have ropes on. I don't think a fall from this height would do any serious damage, but it doesn't keep me from being scared. But I don't really have any choice, so we're just going to get the scaffolding up and go for it. Okay. Well, not terrible. Not amazing, but not terrible. So now I just have to figure out how to keep that tar paper from going crazy till I move stuff. Come on now. I gotta pull this out so I can cut without cutting that beam. Alright. Now, of course, my spacer is down on the ground. Luckily, I got one more. I think we're gonna have to cut those off and then put the battens in place and then move. Look at that. Almost like I knew what I was doing. Obviously not. Clearly, as I try and put in a screw backwards, I do not. It's getting on to late Friday afternoon. One of my friends wanted to go fishing this evening. I was hoping I'd be done with this side so I could go. I'm so close to finishing, I could knock this out if I didn't go fishing with him. Maybe I'll just give him a call, let him know I can't make it. As you can see, against my better judgment, I left the wall unfinished and went fishing with my friend. Oh man, this is beautiful.
Yeah, there's not very many people come out here. A few, but it's I don't know if fishing with my kids.
Sure. Well, fishing with your kids isn't fishing.
Yeah. After the week I've had, man, we've been grinding pretty hard at the job.
Have a follower? Sweet.
Yeah, you know, I used to spend my Friday nights getting trashed and being stupid. This is a pretty good Friday night.
Yeah.
Wake up feeling good in the morning. Been all over Mexico. What do you?
Nice.
Oh, I got bait. Well, I hate to say it, but
You got
yours
a
is bigger than mine. You win. Nice. That's a nice one.
yeah.
Yeah, you feel free to keep whatever you want too.
Okay.
When I got a friend that uses those when he halibut fishes.
Okay.
He drops it down on a pole
Right.
where they're fishing, and it's pretty awesome. They watch.
Yeah. I bought a camera specifically for like trolling. Oh, there. Oh.
He's gonna help me set up a, because I want to troll this lake.
Oh.
I talked to a guy that
Oh.
said they used to.
Oh, did you see that?
That's about the best entertainment you can get.
Yeah. Huh. That's single hook and a.
And a mouse, a live mouse.
Huh.
Smoke. I can smoke. If you bring it, I'll smoke it. And,
That sounds like the old Jeremiah Johnson thing.
yeah. Well,
That's good. That's really good. The no-see-ums, it's been the little black flies.
yeah.
They have
Oh, the
ate me
horseflies.
up. They're smaller than like a house fly,
Oh,
but that's not a bad one.
that's a nice one. Good job. I'm just using all the wrong color here, I guess.
He was like
Hanging
a foot
out
from
the weed.
shore.
You got a couple nice ones though.
Yeah, that'll be a good fish for breakfast.
Yeah, this spot right here is usually full of trout. So I gotta-
All my kids, when they graduated high school, were like, if you want to do a trip before you leave with the family, you plan it and we'll do it.
Yeah.
And so my daughter's like, oh, I want to go to Alaska, because she knew I couldn't help myself and I would plan it.
Yeah.
And she was right. And so we planned it and
Cool.
just came out for 2 weeks and had a great time. And that, like, the more I researched it, the more I was like, this might be the place for me. And then yeah, I just became more and more convinced that it was the right place.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Nice. But yeah, so it was kind of like a fluke. Like, I'd never even thought about Southeast Alaska.
Yeah.
I'd only thought about Anchorage, just like everybody else. And then my buddy's like, he comes here every fall to fish. He's like, oh, you ought to go try that out. I was like, okay. And the rest is history.
Little one.
Oh, and there goes your minnow. And that 27 incher is going to go shabam.
Oh no.
No?
No, that must.
That was a real minnow.
Yep.
Well, I guess that's what they're eating. Yeah, you saw that, right?
I did.
Like I thought it was your minnow for sure.
I was like, man. Yeah, this is about the time of night it starts getting hot out here.
Woo!
Rough life.
Man, we suffer greatly. My wife and I always look at each other and laugh when we have fish for breakfast, because that was one of our first fights when we got married. I was a pretty immature guy back then. I'd cut a couple fish, and I love having fish for breakfast, especially when you're out camping. But even when you're not camping, fish for breakfast, pretty darn good. So I cooked up some fish. Time to start nailing. Whoa! Don't like that. Woo! I think I better go find a board for that wheel. So I cooked up some fish. What I didn't realize, my wife, her dad didn't do any outdoor stuff. So the thought of fish for breakfast, that was something that never even occurred to her. So I fried up these fish for breakfast and let her know that I'd cooked some fish for breakfast. She thought that I was joking because she'd only had it for dinner. So she said something like, "Well, I'm not having fish for breakfast," not realizing that I was being serious. I stormed out of the house and it took me an hour or so to cool down. I can't believe it. I worked so hard to provide for my wife and she won't even eat trout for breakfast. What's wrong with her? Anyways, eventually we talked it over, figured it all out. Now we just laugh about it. And just like that, the back side has all the board and battens on. As I finished up the siding, there were two things I couldn't help but think about. One, taking time off to go fishing when a job wasn't done. And two, how glad I was to be off that second row of scaffolding. Whew. Made it. Okay. Well, starting to look like a window now. Not too shabby. I'm happy with it. Get the rest of the battens on and then the window in place and should be good to go. As always, I don't really care if you like or subscribe. But if you show up next week, we're going to finish off the front of the shop. I take an unexpected fall. I try and catch my wife's favorite meal. And don't be surprised if I put you to work next week. You got to pull your weight around here.